Hi class, tonight we're going to talk about solving systems using tables and graphs. So, what is solving a system? We're going to be working with two equations at one time. In this example, we have 2x minus 3y equals negative 6 and x plus 5y equals negative 12. A system of equations is when you have two or more equations using the same variables. In this case, our equations are using the variables x and y. You can see that those variables are shown in both equations. The solution to the system is a point that satisfies all of the equations. This point is going to be an ordered pair, x and y. Makes sense, right? There are points. So let's talk a little bit about intersecting lines. Our solution is going to be where two lines intersect. So in this case, we have our pink line and our green line. And the point that they intersect is going to be our solution. In this case, it's going to be 2, negative 3. So let's talk about the possible solutions of a linear system. There are three possible solutions. We just talked about one, which is when the lines intersect. If that's the case, there's only going to be one solution because there's only going to be one point where two lines intersect. The second solution is that there's going to be no solution. That's when the lines are parallel. You know this because there's not going to be any point when the line intersects. So if their slope's the same, what's going to be our answer? No solution. Then our third solution is there's going to be infinitely many solutions. That means that the line must be exactly the same. You can see from this example here that there's a yellow line on top of a dotted green line. That means that there's two lines there on top of each other, and there's infinitely many solutions because every point on those lines are going to be exactly the same. So let's talk a little bit more about no solution. As you know, these are our parallel lines, 2/3 x plus 4 and 2/3 x minus 1. You know that they're parallel because their slope's the same. We talked about that last week. So parallel lines have no solution. Their lines are never going to intersect. Now what about infinite solutions? Just as we talked about, there's two lines exactly on top of one another. You can see the red line on the blue line. Every point on that graph is going to be exactly the same. So, what is the solution? Let's see. We have a blue line, we have a purple line. So, take the time, pause the video, and see what our solution is. Okay, so if you're looking at this graph, you are going to go back 4. So if you count backwards, you're going to have negative 4 on our x value and up 2. So our solutions should be letter C. So, using graphs to solve linear equations. Let's say we're given these two equations, negative 4x minus 2y equals negative 6 and 2x minus 2y equals 12. So here's our graph. If you plot every single point, and I advise that you do this on a piece of paper on your own so that you can see how I arrived at my answer, you want to plot each line. So first I plotted my blue line, negative 4x minus 2y equals negative 6. And then I went in, I plotted all those points, and I did 2 for 2x minus 2y equals 12. And I noticed that the point that they intersected was at 3, negative 3. Now, the most important thing is to check your answer. So, to check your answer, you plug in the point that is your solution into your equations. So as you can see, I plugged in 3, negative 3 in for our values. Our x value is 3, our y value is negative 3. Negative 4 times 3 minus 2 times negative 3, go through the check, and it equals negative 6. Again, the same. 2 times 3 minus 2 times negative 3, you get 6 plus 6, which equals 12. Our equations check out, and our answer is good to go. Using a table to solve systems. So we have the two equations, x minus 2y equals 4 and 3x plus y equals 5. So we have the given table. Our y1 value is going to be the y values for x minus 2y equals 4 And our y2 is going to be our y values for 3x plus y equals 5. So I advise you take time to pause the video now, and then I want you to try and plug the points in yourself. So I took the time, I filled this chart in. These are our values. Now, by looking at this, I'm sure some of you might have already figured out, oh, I know where our point is. So, looking at it, where our y values are the same on the table is where we're going to have our intersection. That means that's our solution. So if you take a look at our table, where the x value is 2, our y values are exactly the same. We have -1 for our y1 and -1 for our y2. Therefore, our solution is the point 2, -1. So, take the time, pause the video again. I want you to try this one on your own. You have 2x minus 2y equals -8, and 2x plus 2y equals 4. Again, take the time to do it on your own. All right. So, I'm going to just color code this for you so that you know which line is which on the graph. 2x minus 2y equals -8 will be our purple line, and 2x plus 2y equals 4 is going to be green. Again, I pull values from both negative and positive sides of the table, and then I'm going to plug in our points. So, looking at our table, I bet you can tell me right there what our solution is. It's going to be the point -1, 3. So let's see it on a graph and check our work. As you can see, you go back 1 on the x value, -1, and up 3. Perfect, both intersect. Oop, skipping ahead, there we go. All right, another one on your own. Take the time to pause the video now. You have -5x plus 2y equals 6, and -10x plus 4y equals 8. Okay, so our answers. Again, I color-coded the graphs for you. -5x plus 2y equals 6 is going to be in orange, and -10x plus 4y equals 8 is going to be in this teal. So again, I pulled just one negative value. I just decided to count by 2 to make it easier. So when we plug in our values, that's what we're left with. So if we look at it, we have parallel lines. Now, some of you could have moved your equation over into slope y-intercept form, which right from there you would have been able to tell that there was no solution because you would have seen that the slope was the same. No solution. No point on the table was the same either. That was another way that you could have been able to tell. So here's one more on your own. 3x minus y equals 8, and 2y equals 6x minus 16. So take the time, do this on your own again. I hope you pause the video. Okay, so 3x minus y equals 8, and 2y equals 6x minus 16. Now I'm sure you're wondering, oh, well, both our equations are pink. Well, there's a reason behind this. If we plot our lines, look at that. Every y value is exactly the same. So what does that tell you? It's just one line. The line is exactly the same. And therefore, we have infinite solutions. So let's go over this again step by step. First, you want to graph the given equations. Graph by plotting the x and y intercepts by looking at the table. Second, do the graphs intersect at a given point. This point is your solution, so make sure you specify your answer. Third, most importantly, check your solution. I can't stress it enough. whatever your solution is, plug it back into your equations. It's very important to make sure that you're getting the right answer. So for tomorrow, please be prepared. If you have your own graphing calculator, please bring it in. If not, we're going to have a class set for you, hopefully, but be prepared. We're going to try and go over this on the calculators. So if you have any questions, please rewatch the video. Let me or Miss Benson know if you have any other questions. Thanks for watching, guys. See you tomorrow.